So I guess I'll give you more details about that afterwards if you're trying to figure it out. You can also find all these videos on jillnovakyoga.com. And then I have a video playlist there. So this one I think is under chair yoga. I also have mindful movement and yoga therapy tips, just other things there too. So anything that we do here, I think I posted under chair yoga. All right, let's get started today. I am wearing socks and a sweatshirt. It is just beginning to be that season. All right, so you're nestling your bum into your chair. One day I'll get a chair that doesn't squeak quite so much. Settle your bum in. Settle your feet. Let's just go through our motions of finding our tall spine and noticing how it feels today. You know, sometimes you sit down in your chair and you just feel like everything's really collapsed. And then there's other days, maybe you've already been outside for a walk or something, where the spine feels quite long and tall. This space between the armpits and the hips feels expanded here. So just notice where you kind of sit on the spectrum today. Maybe you'll allow yourself to close your eyes, to roll those shoulders down the back body, and just to breathe in and out. And as you breathe, just allow your intention to just come to yourself, to withdraw from the external world and spend this time paying attention to all the messages that our body sends to us that we, swipe away all day long, ignoring or putting them to the side so that we can proceed with our day. And let's just use this time to be fully present to the messages that are coming from our body. And as you breathe, you might want to drop your chin into your chest. Inhale and lift it back up. Moving the back of the neck, just with smoothness. Perhaps there's an inhale that takes your chin one direction and an exhale that allows it to move the other direction. Bring the chin back to center and then drop your ear side to side. Inhale up, exhale over, inhale up. Yeah. Just allowing the sides of the neck to feel like they get a little bit of love today. And then bring everything back up to center. Those shoulders lift up to the ears, go backwards, pull down, set. It's like they do these big circles, lifting, drawing back, dropping down. Whatever direction. Let's see if we can change it. So now we're going to go forward. This makes me think of a train. When you're a little kid and you would pretend. Okay, and then finally go backwards. Good. Elbows come out to the side. You can squeeze the shoulder blades together and then cross them over and give yourself a hug. And then elbows come out to the side. This time when you cross over, put the other arm on the bottom, hug. So it's a crossover. Now when you hug, just curl inward. Open up, elbows to side. Opposite arm on the bottom, hug, curl inward. Which way is the inhale? Which way is the exhale? So it's a big, beautiful shoulder blades pulled together, elbows out wide, and then roll inward, arch your back. Breathe in, breathe out. Every time you come forward, try and put another arm on the top and the different one on the bottom. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Yeah. Just starting to work those shoulders, playing with our shoulder blades a little bit, feeling the slide between the shoulder blade and the spine. And then end. So come back up to center. Those shoulders roll down the back again. Keep the elbows kind of tight to the body, and then roll the hands out. Feel how your shoulder blades go close to the spine, and then let the hands touch. And then open them. If you had like a TheraBand around the backs of your fingers, imagine yourself pulling that tight and open, and then releasing it like you're expanding an elastic band, and then allowing it to retract. Feel the space between your shoulder blades. Yeah, so you're trying to keep your neck soft. You're trying to keep your shoulders relaxed, even as you allow those shoulder blades to just sway on the back body. Nice. And then relax. Roll those shoulders again. This time the elbows can sort of lift up beside you, and the thumbs will pull up and then go back down again. I guess we could even like do thumbs up, like cheesy thumbs up pose. Can you feel this like in elbows and this, the muscles that sort of go between the elbows and the wrist? Not necessarily the triceps, like on the back of the arm. Yeah. Cheers. Make sure you breathe here and that your shoulders aren't crunched to your ears, that you're doing the movement with the shoulders relaxed and down. The elbows can be as low as they need to be. Yeah. Good. Your hands don't have to be in thumbs up either, but they can be. And relax. Okay, so shake out the arms. Can you breathe deep as you shake out these arms? Breathe. Now shake out the fingers. Yeah. A little bit of almost like a qigong practice. I want you to take one hand and go from the wrist all the way up to the shoulder, patting the outside of the hand, outside of the arm, and then turn the arm to the other side and go down the inner arm and back up again. Back out on the outside, back down on the inside. That's good. Other side. So take the left hand up the right arm, or whichever one you did last time. Make sure you turn that hand to the inner palm. Yeah, nice work. Shoulders go up and down, squeeze and release a couple times. Yeah, all right, let's bring our awareness to the rib cage now. We want to twist with that rib cage. So feel how the sit bones stay connected. Breathe, breathe. If your shoulders want to stay relaxed, your fingertips can be here. They can be here. You can just leave them on your lap. Put them on your waist. Have your arms out straight. Whatever feels right. Yeah. Keep your sit bones connected. Imagine also like the crown of your head is almost like staying stationary. So the top and the bottom are still, and then whatever's turning is turning right here in the middle. Okay? Breathe. 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 Yeah, I like to just feel like the spine is initiating the movement, right? So it's not your arms kind of hauling you into a twist. Feels like it's coming from the spine as you twist back and forth. Nice. Right now we're going to side bend so the fingertips can come to the shoulders, or you can really side bend. Whatever you feel like. Breathe. Side bend. Breathe. Side bend. As long as you feel like in your body, you're lengthening the distance between the hip and the armpit, then you're doing great. Breathing in. Exhaling out to the side. Breathing in. Exhaling out to the side. Long breath in. Beautiful. Yes. Nice work. And then bring yourself up to center. Those shoulders roll down your back again. Those little elbow rolls. Oh, nice work. Last one. We'll take the fingers right to the ends of the knees and go into our cat and cow. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhale. exhale, reaching back. You know, if you want to add your arms here, you are welcome to. So if you want to open up big and roll down, you can go back to that very first movement. Or your arms, if they're tired after all of that, they can stay resting on your lap, and just make this about your spine. Yeah. When we finish, we've only had about 10 minutes, maybe 11 minutes so far, but I want you to notice again that expansion, the distance between the crown of your head and your seat, how your body feels like it is in terms of long and strong and invigorated or collapsed, right? You're feeling how the energy is moving in your body. Is it pooled and stagnant, or does it feel like it's getting going? That's what we're going for. Good. Okay, so slide your feet a little bit wide here. And then we're going to let fingers come to the ends of the knees. Reach one shoulder down into the middle and then pull back up again. If you keep the hip bone attached to your chair when you come back up and down, I got a nice creak in the chair today. Maybe that's good. It's like a haunted house kind of noise happening right before Halloween. Good. I'm just going to see if there was a little question that came up. Nope, all good. Nice. Okay, so you're going to come out of that pose. Bring your heels back together. Lift a foot, take it out to the side, set it down. Yeah, and then go to the other side. Set it down. Lift it up. So you might need to be kind of on the edge of your chair here. You're thinking of the thigh bone lifting and moving to the side, and the thigh bone coming back to center. What I find here is that when we go to move our legs, lots of us kind of it's like we have to bend and arch and relax, collapse the spine, whatever your word is. So your goal is, can you move those legs and still have your upper body kind of be tall? Yeah. So now just do some circles with the right leg. Go the opposite way. And circles with the left leg. And go the opposite way. Breathing deep. Good. Feet pressed down. Nice. Bend into those knees and let yourself come to standing. Feet can come to stand onto the back of your chair. And I get to find a way to let you see my whole body. Beautiful. Coming back behind this chair, letting your hands rest on it, taking a step back with the right foot, pushing the heel down into the ground, and then just tick-tocking. So it feels like both legs are straight. The upper body just begins to fold forward and come up again, fold forward and come up again. Yeah. You can feel this down both legs, perhaps. Nice. Now bend into that front knee. Good. Lean really far forward. Good. Feel that in the back leg. Nice. If the hands can leave the chair, bring them down beside you. It's almost like you're going to reach the fingers back towards that back heel. So feel like your shoulders, your fingers, and that back heel are all pressing towards the floor. Feel like your front knee, your chest, and the crown of your head are reaching in front of you. So no movements happening in your body, but it's really invigorated. It's really working. Good. Now bring your hands back to the chair. Straighten your front leg, bend your back knee. If it feels okay, lift those toes off the floor. Breathe. Breathe. One more breath. And then inhale, come back up. Sweet work. Both knees bend. Step back together. Your left leg stretches back behind you. The whole sole of the foot lands on the floor. You're aware of where your hip crease is, and you're not folding in the back. None of this is your back folding. So you're bringing your whole pelvis into this movement. The tailbone lifts, the pelvis shifts forward. The spine is long and straight. Hard work. Yes, indeed. Good. Nice work. And then bringing yourself back up, that front knee bends. Sweet. Lean forward over that chair. Pressing hard into the back heel. If your body allows you to let go, reach the fingers. So this is like the back of your skull, the shoulder blades, the fingers, the heel, all reaching towards that back heel in the floor. Your front knee, your chest, the crown of your head stretching forward. Breathe here and just feel the oppositions as one side of your body pulls forward and up, the back side of your body pulls down and away. Breathe deep. Breathe deep, breathe deep. Good job. And release, hands to chair. Straighten your front leg. Bend your back knee. Perhaps you get to pull the front toes up off the floor. Breathe here. Steady, slow breath. And then release that foot back to the floor. Step forward. You can feel the work that we're building in our legs here. Okay, so you're imagining that you've got like a yoga block in between your thighs. If you have one, use one. It's that kind of feeling there, okay? So the inner thighs feel like they're squeezing onto that block, right? It doesn't matter if you actually have one or not. Now you're going to imagine sliding down an imaginary wall so that the back is connected. You're not leaning forward. You're not poking your bum up because there's a wall behind you. And you're just sliding down that wall. I want you to squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Lift your toes up and then drop them back down again. Breathe. Release any tension from your low back. It's almost like you feel like someone just hung a really heavy ornament on your tailbone. Someone just hooked an anchor to the bottom of your spine and it got like a little tug attraction. Nice. Can you feel the work in the thighs already? Maybe the hands stay resting on the chair. Maybe they reach out in front of you. Breathe. Long, strong breaths in chair pose. I think I've told you the story about my evil teacher who used to tell us some distracting story right when we were in this pose and our thighs were burning. I never could understand the cruelty of that teacher. Just leaving us here as he told a story. Drop your hands, stretch into the soles of your feet and come up. Yes, nice work. If you did have a block, you get to release it. Good. Come up onto your tippy toes, go back down. Lift the toes, go back down. Tippy toes, down. Toes lift, down. I've had like different clients lately with different things happening on the soles of the feet where movements like this were not easy. So if you're one of those people where like the sole of the foot, for whatever reason, the ankles, the ball of the toe, the ball of the foot, the toes just don't have the same kind of range of motion anymore, then just ignore me as I do this. Yeah, good. Okay, release. Now I'd like you to take a step back with, I'm going to go left just because you'll be able to see me easier, and let the toes point forward. My right toes still point to my chair. And then bend that front knee. Yeah. So it's like my hips are pointing forward, my shoulders are pointing forward, but my knee is pointing out to the side. Okay, back toes pointing forward. Your hands can come out. Maybe that front hand rests, maybe your back hand's on your hip. And I want you to just stretch that front knee out and pull it back in again. Don't let it pass your toes. So if you feel like you can go further and that knee could go past the toes, then just widen your stance. Yeah, breathe. Hard, hey? Yeah, so sink into that final version. Let that backhand slide down, and then notice if the top fingers could come up and over. Take an easy breath here. Another easy breath here. And then wind this hand back down to the chair. Lean towards the chair, and the top hand comes up and over. In your mind's eye, you're in a straight line from your wrist all the way down to that back ankle, right? Good job. Breathe easy here. Light hand on the chair, relax shoulders. Bring that hand back. Straighten the front leg, and then heel toe these feet back together. Sweet work. I'm moving to the other side. Good. This time I'm stepping back. Right toes will face forward, left toes will face the chair. Left knee bends, okay? Front hand can be on that chair too. So as you bend and straighten that knee, your rule is to not allow the knee to pass the toes. You're not gonna go way down like that. Keep the big muscles of your leg doing the work rather than the knee muscles. Don't strain anything through there. Yeah. Keep your breath smooth and easy. Good. Okay, so drop that knee. Backhand slides down the back leg. Choosing if front fingers will leave the chair or not. Breathe here. It can get kind of tight as soon as you start adding more aspects of the pose. So if your breath, if you can't breathe here, just bring that hand back to here. If you can't breathe there, put the hand back here and just slide this finger down the back leg. Good work. Okay, windmill around, front hand on chair. Begin to lean your body in towards that chair back. Yeah, top hand goes up and over. Again, just allowing yourself to be in a long straight line from the wrist to the ankle. Light weight onto this chair. Your shoulders are relaxed. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then just windmill your hands. Press up through the knee. Take some time to draw those feet back to center. Good work. Under the guise of going into that like sliding down a wall pose again, where you lean against a wall and just let yourself slide down. Let yourself find that wall. Your feet will come out wide. You can find a real wall, or you can pretend you're against a wall. Knees open to the side, back slides down the wall. Just feel like the inner thighs pull backwards. And then bring your hands up too. So if you're against a wall right now, you're just imagining that you could flatten yourself against that wall. Drawing the thighs backwards, letting the wrists, the back of the skull, the elbows press into that imaginary or real wall. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Allow yourself to sink into that squat as long as the knees are happy. Breathe and come back up. Take a deep breath. Feet come together. Now, before we go to the next one, let's just find our center. The chair is there for your balance, so feel free to use it. Feet hip width apart, resting into the ground. Imaginary string pulling through the crown of your head. Feel the shoulders release and relax. You're finding your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Some of you need to make sure you've got a little bend in the backs of your knees. Just feel the breath come in. If you don't need to hold the chair, the hands can just fall to your sides. Notice the breath come in and out of the body. Notice the power of your legs to support you. Possibly a gentle contraction happening in your low belly, but a sweet movement of breath still. Nice. Good. Okay. When I take, for me, it's my left hand onto my chair. I want to notice that I can place it there lightly, and my body weight is still being held by my feet. If I was going to lift my right foot, so much happens where we lean all of our weight left and lean into that left hand. What if, I'm going to move my feet closer together. My goal was to lift my right heel without hanging onto the back of the chair anymore, without leaning anymore. Peel up off the heel, come up off the tippy toes, start to let that knee rise, and then open it to the side, close it. Just imagine this is like a slow motion swinging door, like on a saloon or something. That the door just opens with ease. The door frame, your body, your hips stay still. There's not a lot of weight going into that arm on the chair. Come back to center and your hand comes down. Woo! You can feel that. If you need to move your chair or turn so that you can do the other leg, go ahead. When I stand tall, my feet together, one hand on the chair, I notice not a lot of weight has to be down through that arm. If I go to lift my left heel, I want the weight to get transferred down into the right leg, not to lean into that hand anymore, not to get the shoulder up into my ear. So really slowly peel the left heel off the floor. Soften your shoulders, keep that hand relaxed. Notice how the weight has to go into the right leg. Yes, saloon door. Just a gentle open and close swing. It's like it's soft close. It won't go fast. Soft close and sweet open. Easy open, soft close. Easy open, soft close. Yeah, I know this is a lot. And then come back to center. Nice. Okay, so when you're done that, let the hips just sway to the right and the left. You might even bring your fingertips, bring them right to the top of the leg bone, and then just higher than that, you'll be able to feel a muscle sort of trigger every time you sway side to side. Nice work. And then if you let those fingers sort of travel forward, and then you lean your hips forward and then back again, you'll feel the hip flexor get really tight as you press forward and then loosen and relax as you fold back. Really tight. Nice. And then sort of between those two spots, the front and the sides, you'll feel a muscle right in there. And as you allow yourself to pivot and turn, you'll feel that muscle contract. Because these hips are like layers of wrapping. Some of the layers go into your mid spine, like right up by your diaphragm, and they wrap all the way around to the opposite hip, sort of like this. Some of them go right around the middle. We have some muscles that go from the mid back down into our legs, down through the hip flexors, go down into the front. The QLs go down through the back. Yeah, nice work. Okay, so you found those. Now the next one, I'm going to turn on my chair the other way. The next one you're going to notice is you might even have your fingertips right on your sit bones. And as you fold forward, you'll notice how that hamstring and hamstring tendon get long, and then they go back in again. So it doesn't really matter if you're feeling them with your fingertips or if you're just practice folding forward and coming back up again here, you'll feel it in the back of your legs. Come down, let your knees bend and just press your bum backwards. Like you're doing a nice, you can see better when my sweatshirt's not in the way. Like your knees are bending and you're pressing your bum back Just a nice stretch through the whole spine, through the arms, through the shoulders, allowing your head to relax between your elbows. Breathe. And then come back up. Good? All right, so next one, I'm going to use the chair to do a twist. So I'd like the seat of the chair to face you. I think I need to move a little bit closer. And I'm going to come to a position where my hands can be on that seat. To begin, I'm going to use my left hand because it's closer to the camera. And I'm going to open. So hopefully you can see that my knees and hips are still. I can't rotate all the way to the ceiling without that sort of extra bit of my knee bending. So just notice how far can you go without the knee bending, and then release that side. Opposite arm lifts to shoulder height, and you do the same thing. You open and release. Open. Use your breath, long and slow. Remember that you're not allowing the knee to bend yet. Soften your shoulders, don't let them crunch to your ears, and then bring both hands down. Okay, now we're gonna go all the way. So this time you can even widen your feet if you want. Knee can bend. If my right knee bends, my right hip releases, my left hand can open to the sky, and then breathe. Go the other way. Big inhale, big exhale. Beautiful. Go with your range of motion. As soon as your breath gets tight, that's your body telling you not to go further. It doesn't want you to get hurt. It doesn't want to find an injury. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, come all the way back up again. How long was I frozen for? Am I back? Okay. Inhale all the way up. Hands can come back down. Breathe in. Hands can come back down. Nice work. It's a deep breath in. Exhale, hands to heart. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands to heart. Now you know that you can leave hands in the air to do side bends. Or you can do those same side bends with hands on your shoulders. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Just put some breath into your body. Let it feel invigorated and strong. Nice work. Yeah. And shoulders roll down the back. Yeah, good work. Okay, we're going down to the floor now. So I'm going to put my chair in a place where it's touching a wall. And then that way when I go to use it, it won't push away from me. And you're going to get what you need for support underneath you. There's my nice blanket. And I'm going to get a second one for my head. Beauty. Allowing yourself down to the floor. Excuse me. Okay. So before we lie down all the way, let's just go to seated. Right now, I'm hips on heels. That's not the easiest place for all of us to be. So you can be hips on heels, or you can move one of those blankets so that you could sit on it and your feet could come out either this, crisscrossed, or in front of you. So you're just finding something that's comfortable, okay? Yeah, And then imagine again the back against a wall. So just start to lengthen your spine up. Drop the shoulders down your back. Pull if the toes will pull them up towards you. Give yourself that nice stretch so that your goal is thinking about lengthening this front side of the body. That every breath you take, you get long here, and then your shoulders rest down the back. Breathing in here, shoulders rest down the back. Breathe in, release. Breathe in, release. So you can feel the spine growing. Yeah, the legs settle. There can be a little bend in the knees. If that helps you feel taller here, then let that little knee bend be there. Good. Nice. So from this place with a really tall spine, I'm going to imagine I have a magnet right in my heart center, right in my sternum. The other magnet is in the big toe. Turn so you can see this one better. And then you just start to lean. Might even bring my hands out and reach and pull back to flat. Reach forward and pull back to flat. This will be a big stretch if you're not allowing yourself to round. You might not feel it if you let yourself sort of collapse forward, but if you keep a tall spine and just lean forward and pull back, most all of us are going to be having some sensation through the back body, between the heels, calves, hamstrings, low back, mid back, upper back, shoulders. Yeah, shoulders, especially if those hands are lifted high. Yeah, hard, hey? And then come back up to that nice tall spine. I'll use my left knee first, drawing it in. I'll just move so you guys can see me better again. Left knee comes in, and then my right hand wraps that knee. My left hand reaches back. So your hand can be wherever it needs to be, floor, piece of furniture, wherever. What I find when we twist is we want to torque with the arms. We really want to pull with those arms. So what if you just made those arms be heavy? Breathe in and be tall, and then turn as if the turn is happening at the spine. Yeah. Breathe in, tall spine. Exhale, relax your shoulders. Turn as if the muscles closest to your spine are doing the turning. Breathe in. Make sure you don't do that fatal error of twisting the breath right out of your body. Stay where you can still breathe. Yeah. Nice. And then allow yourself to unwind. It's almost like my chin goes first, shoulders, rib cage, belly. And then you change legs. Lifting up, left hand holds the right knee, right hand goes into the floor or a piece of furniture behind me. Remember, you're not torquing with the arms. Relax, take a nice breath, let those hands be heavy. Use your breath. Every inhale, feel the spine get taller. Every exhale, soften your shoulders, turn the body. Let the muscles closest to the spine draw you deeper into the pose. Deep breath, keep going. Softening every exhale, letting yourself float a bit deeper. When you release, chin is first, shoulders second, rib cage, belly, unwind. Nice work. I got myself all turned around here so that you guys could see me, but hopefully you didn't need to adjust yourself on the floor too much. Good. Okay, so if we're going to do one more seated pose before we go down to the floor altogether, then I'm going to move my props so that this can be my pillow again. I'm seated and I'm getting ready to let myself lie down. But before I do, I want to do that tall spine again. Hands hanging on behind my thighs and gently lifting. Maybe 2 knees come up into boat pose, Navasana. Maybe you're going to just lift 1 foot at a time. Yeah, you choose. Maybe the hands stay hanging on. If the legs feel like they can fortify themselves and the arms don't need to do the work, then they can release out too. Breathe. And relax. Good work. Okay, now you're softening yourself down onto the floor, and if you're skipping this step, you might be getting yourself back up into your chair. Coming down to the floor. Nice. All right, long breath, just taking a moment, doing whatever you need to. If there's any discomfort in the low back, remember you can put an extra fold of that blanket under the low back. You can put an extra fold just underneath the tailbone. Just something so that those are the 2 most common places, under the low back or under the tailbone, just putting a little tiny sliver of a blanket. Extra support to bring ease. Let's draw the right knee into the chest. Drape your fingers over the shin. Now, if you have movement in the foot, then you begin to move the foot. Pulling the toes back and forth towards you, noticing the different joints. So move from the toes, as if you're working the toe joint. Move from the ball of the foot. Move from the ankle. Then roll that ankle joint one direction and the other. Good. You might need to let go of this leg with your left hand and just use your right fingertips so you can draw circles with the knee. Whatever way you're drawing circles, release and draw them the other way. And set the foot down on the ground. Next breath you take, draw in the left foot, fingers drape. Play with the movement of your foot. You're finding your toe joint, the ball of the foot, the ankle. Flex and release, and then roll. Whichever way you're rolling, go the other way. Good. And now I release my right hand. My left fingers just sort of hang onto that knee and guide it in circles. Whichever direction those circles are going, they can change and go the opposite direction. And then that foot can land back on the floor. Good work. Hands lift to the sky. Drape them across the opposite elbow. I love this twist where you let elbows fall right and knees fall left. Inhale back to center. Elbows left, knees right. Inhale back to center. Just allow yourself to move with smoothness and easeful breath. So a gentle releasing exhale, a long smooth inhale, a gentle releasing exhale, a long smooth inhale. Yeah. Nice twists. Back and forth. And come to center. Your hands can release wherever you want them to be. So this is where you get to make some choices about your legs. Some of you will just let your knees fall together, kind of tenting in the middle. Some of you will let the feet go on the back of the chair. I try and nestle the chair right up close to the back of my knees, because then the whole leg gets supported, and you'll find that there's a spot where it's easier than, more supportive than another spot. Some of you, and I know who you are going to have the chair the other way, and the heels will just be on the back of the chair seat. So you come to your breath. As you settle in here, I just want you to take a moment, allowing stillness to overcome your body so that you can watch the energy movement, the circulation, the pulse or heartbeat. It's like you have a sensation that you can now be aware of your own vitality, your own life force. Feel that life force pull into your body with every inhale. Feel the life force release all the old garbage until it draws in again. Notice how your movement has enabled you to just activate or be aware of this pulsation of energy in all the different corners of your body. You can feel the movement of this energy 5 different directions. So let me tell you about them. They are called the winds of Vata, the movement directions in the body. So one is in and down. Feel it on your inhale. On the exhale, it's up and out. In and down, Apana Vayu. Up and out, Udana Vayu. I want you to bring your hands to your belly. And feel how every breath there is a movement of swirling, like an inward swirling of energy to your core, to your center. You can feel it with the expansion and release of the belly. Like somewhere deep inside of you, someone is just pulling the energy inward, storing it away for further use. And then the last one, not quite last, I guess Prana is the last one. So I can't remember what this one's called. That one was called Samavayu. So allow your breath to just reach out to fingertips and toes as if it's expanding outward. It's stretching to the outer edges of you. And then circulating back to center. So it's outward growth, expansion breath, circulating in like a centrifugal force. Moving outward and then back in again. And these 4 all move on your prana. The movement of breath. And just notice how your practice of breath and movement makes you feel mentally. Notice what this practice does for you physically. and even notice emotionally. Nice work. So allow yourself to take a nice deepening breath. Maybe you'll exhale out of your mouth. Your knees can come in towards your chest. Maybe you squeeze them. Rock gently around the back body. You can roll to one side or the other, allowing yourself to come all the way back up to your chair or to seated. Well, thanks for sharing another Tuesday morning with me. I do appreciate it. Namaste.
Namaste.